welcome back to another episode of the Ins 99 podcast, where we got 99 cards because Commander's number one. I am your necromancer with all the answers, Necrozak, joined by my two good buds, Dan and Slothy. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm pretty good, thanks. Finally getting over being sick, so feeling a lot better.
Love that. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing really good this week. It's been busy as always, but been pretty good. Lots of cleaning all weekend, so excited to actually enjoy my relaxing after we're done recording. And how's everything with you been?
It's been fine. I recently got tattooed, so I'm a little sore.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Zach's tattoo on Instagram, it's a pretty killer one.
It is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I didn't expect. Well, I expected my stomach to hurt, but I didn't expect it to hurt that bad.
Well, that one's not a little tattoo, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so as everyone knows, we obviously were off last week. Just life got to us. Slothy was being sick. I had to go into work last minute kind of thing. It just happens, right? So again, sorry for anyone who was looking forward to that episode. We have a new episode for you this week talking about what everyone's been talking about, which is going to be these Baldur's Gate spoilers. There's a lot. Before we even get into spoilers, I want to just say there's just too much Magic product. It's I don't know. This is like a really exciting set. There's really cool cards in it, but I just might not buy any because there's just too many cards. They've got to chill down a bit.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting back into that whole product fatigue thing that we talked about like last year, which I guess it's better to have more product than not, but in the same sense, it's like, well, what do I buy?
Well, yeah, the way I'm seeing it too as well is I just bought 4 commander decks and a bunch of the cards from the sets, and now there's 4 more commander decks, and this set's enormous. Like, we're possibly not even going to get through all the rares and mythics today. There's great uncommons and commons in it as well, especially in the for legendary stuff. There's really, really good options, but it's just so much. Like, everything in this set is like legendary.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my early gripe. Zach asked me before we started this if I like this more than the D&D set. I've been really outspoken about hating the D&D set that we initially got. The commander decks were phenomenal. I thought the D&D set sucked. Forgotten Realms was one of my favorite things growing up. So when they were like, oh yeah, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, I was so excited to see all these like characters they brought to life. And then they just, maybe it's because I'm not as big of a D&D guy. Maybe that's why I didn't like it, because it was really D&D focused and more on like dice rolling and D&D mechanics rather than like the stories of those people. They just like kind of like jammed a bunch of them in it. They're like, oh, here's Wolfgar in a pre-con deck and grow up. Yeah. And
like, even as somebody who plays a lot of D&D, it felt kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, it was very nostalgia based. Like, hey, that's Driss. Hey, that's Wolfgar. But it didn't really do anything to build their story at all.
Yeah, or get me hype on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like if you didn't know these characters already, you'd be like, oh, that's just a random like bulk mythic or rare, whatever they were.
Yeah, exactly.
Bruner at uncommon. Ugh. Yeah, so I have strong feelings about those. And this set, it is better. It's phenomenally better. The D&D set as well came right after just a bunch of like overwhelmingly powerful sets. So I think that had it been just a normal Magic set, like had we seen the D&D set 3 years ago, probably would have had a different opinion on it and been like, this is a pretty cool set overall. But it came on the heels of so much good stuff. Like, we had like our Strixhaven stuff already. We had already seen Ikoria, and then they're just like, here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt weak. That's my thoughts on it. That being said, like I said earlier, like this set is better. It was designed better. I think that they've put too much treasures in everything in advance. Everything makes treasure tokens. I don't understand why every color needs to have treasure token mechanics, but that seems the design path they're going for. And yeah, I'll now stop complaining. I understand other people may be excited, but those are my gripes. Let's get right into it, and I'm just gonna get Zach to just go through this first segment of Ancient Cards.
All right, sounds good. We're starting off with Ancient Brass Dragon, 5 double black for a 7/6 Elder Dragon. It has flying, and whenever Ancient Brass Dragon deals combat damage to a player, you roll a d20. When you do, you put any number of target creature cards with total mana value X or less from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, where X is the result. Yep, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a me card.
Like I said, there's good cards in this. All of these Ancient Dragons. This is actually a really cool cycle. The red one sucks. Spoiler, but
of course.
The black one's good. Let me read the red one. You guys can tell me what you think. It is Ancient Copper Dragon. Pardon me. 4 double red for a 6/5 flying Elder Dragon. When it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. You get a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. Oh wow! Everything's treasure tokens. Sorry.
I mean, thematically, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't the one. It's an okay one. One of them is horrible. I can't remember which one. It's probably the white one. Now that I'm thinking about it, we'll figure it out. Slothy, you want to do the green one?
Yeah. So the green one is Ancient Bronze Dragon, 5 double green for a 7/7 Elder Dragon with flying. Whenever Ancient Bronze Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. When you do, put X +1/+1 counters on each of up to 2 target creatures where X is the result.
That one's not
very good
either.
Yeah.
I jumped ahead. You want to do the white one here?
Sure. We have Ancient Gold Dragon, 5 double white for a 7/10 Elder Dragon with flying. Whenever Ancient Gold Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. You create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying equal to the result.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I do like the next one a lot, minus its cost, because in a mono blue you can't really get this out feasibly. But it's going to go in like every Simic deck or draw theme deck. Ancient Silver Dragon, 6 double blue for a 8/8 flying Elder Dragon. So 8/8 flyer at 8 mana, pretty decent. When it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20, draw cards equal to the result, and you have no max hand size for the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty good.
That one's really good.
Yeah.
Zach, you probably want this next one too, by the way.
Okay. We have Baldurs, 3 double red for a 5/5 demon flying. When it attacks or dies, choose one or more. Each mode must target a different player. Target opponent draws 3 cards and discards 3 cards at random. Target opponent sacrifices a non-token artifact, and Baldurs deals damage to target opponent equal to the number of cards in their hand. Yeah, that's sweet. I like it.
Yeah. A lot of utility. Baldurs would kill me really easy with that last mode in pretty much every deck I play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love having 30 cards in hand.
Yeah, it's very modal stuff is always really cool, and it has a die trigger, which is nice.
The next card's pretty silly. It's Battle Angels of Tyr, 2 double white for a 4/4 Angel Knight. Those are amazing tribes. First off, that goes in a lot. Like Knight Tribal is a big thing. Angel with especially Giada just coming out. It's a really, really good card overall. It has flying and myriad, so 4/4 flying myriad is already great stats. When Battle Angels of Tyr deal combat damage to a player, draw a card if they have more cards in hand than each other player, then create a treasure token if they control more lands. Then you gain 3 life for each player if that player has more life than each other player. So it's life gain, card draw, and ramp on a 4/4 flying and myriad.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Sundial of the Infinite is going to go silly in this set because everything is myriad. Everything.
Mm-hmm. Love that card.
Yeah, I'm going to take these next 2 because I love them. Blood Money is just a cool board wipe. It's very expensive, but 5 double black. Destroy all creatures. For each non-token creature destroyed this way, you create a tap treasure token. I have a board wipe tribal deck, and this kind of fits right at home in it.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really like that card, and it gives a lot. I looked at it initially and was like, this costed pretty high, and then was like, okay, well, how much treasure tokens? At least it gives them tapped. And then the next one that I wanted to talk about specifically was because there's 2 new artworks, but it looks like maybe a box top or a full art, whatever the one it is. It's Bramble Sovereign, and it is just really, really nice artwork. On both of them, I like both of them, but it's great. I'm excited to pull this because there's not enough of Bramble Sovereign in general. 2 double green for a 4/4 Dryad. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, you can pay 1 and a green. If you do, that creature's controller creates a token that's a copy of that one. I really, really like this card because I like to play actual group hug decks and not just the silly memes that I talk about every week. And I like to give people extra versions of their card.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I would like to take the next 2 if that's all right.
Hit it.
So the next one is Captain Guthrod. It is a 3/6 legendary creature horror pirate for 3 blue and black. Horrors you control have menace. Whenever a horror you control deals combat damage to a player, that player mills that many cards. And at the beginning of your end step, choose target artifact or creature card in an opponent's graveyard that was put there from their library this turn, and put it onto the battlefield under your control. I love that card.
It's sick.
It's awesome.
It's really good. That's actually pretty silly. I like that they're doing more horror tribal stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And the next one is one that I do wish they had an original like D&D art for.
Right.
But it's Elminster. 3 white blue for a legendary planeswalker Elminster with starting limit to 5. Whenever you scry, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn costs X less, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying this way. And you can +2 them to draw a card, then scry 2, and -3 to exile the top card of your library. Create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying equal to that card's mana value, and Elminster can be your commander.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Planeswalkers that can be commanders are always interesting.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have Elminster's Simulacrum. It's 4 double blue for an instant. For each opponent, you create a token that's a copy of up to 1 target creature that player controls. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that card. That'll be especially at instant, that's a really cool card to copy.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of people, by the way, who think that I'm just an animal and have spam messaged me to make infinite creatures with the next card is it's Faldorn Dread Wolf Herald, and everyone, like, I've gotten a pretty shocking number of messages actually asking me if I'm going to make this a food chain commander. It's 1 green, 1 red. I don't only play food chain, guys. Come on. It's a human druid. Whenever you cast a spell from exile or a land enters under your control from exile, you create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, and then you pay 1, discard a card, exile the top card of your library. You can play it this turn. Obviously, that's how it's meant to be played. Everyone's trying to get me to play Squee from exile with food chain just infinitely and make infinite wolves.
Yeah.
It's not always about infinite wolves, guys.
Sometimes it is, though.
Yeah.
Well, most times it is.
A few of the times it is definitely about infinite wolves. Do you want to take this next one, Zach?
Sure. Firecrag, Cunning Inquisitor. It's 3 blue and a red for a 3/3 legendary creature dragon with flying and haste. And whenever 1 or more dragons you control attack an opponent, go target creature that player controls. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, if that creature had to attack this combat, you put a 1/1 counter on Firecrag, Cunning Inquisitor, and you draw a card. That's like a cooler version of Niv Mizzet, honestly.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I love goading things.
Goat is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the next one. There's obviously Partner's a popular mechanic for Magic, but there's like a new kind of mechanic which is choose a background in this, and choose a background lets you basically have an enchantment in the command zone, and I think that's actually a pretty fun mechanic. But this Font of Magic card that we're going for next really functions well with those. It's enchantment for 3 and a blue, and it's instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone. Those backgrounds do count as a commander cast.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. As soon as I saw this one, I knew it was going in my Derevi deck.
Yeah, that's a really, really good one. Yeah, gross.
Yeah, don't like that.
The next one's just really good as a card overall. I'm not going to try to pronounce this. One of you guys take this one, but it's a cool card.
So this is Karlak, Fury of Avernus. 4 and a red for a 5/4 legendary creature, Tiefling Barbarian. And whenever you attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap all attacking creatures. They gain first strike until end of turn. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase, and you can choose a background.
That is really cool.
I also like that they tried to ungoto it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, this next card's insane.
It's really bonkers, and I don't know why they would print something like this.
We have Legion Loyalty, 6 double white for an enchantment, and it simply says creatures you control have myriad.
It's all creatures, by the way. It's not just non-token creatures. It's all your tokens have myriad.
That's pretty good.
It's insane.
That's too. That's real good.
I don't care for the the alternate art, but I love that it's just so simple text. Those creatures you control have myriad.
Yep.
Like no reminder text at all, nothing. Just one line.
I enjoy that.
Anything with like a Craterhoof deck, like any Selesnya deck, token deck running this is just like Creatures you control have Myriad. I'll play Crater Hoof, and my Crater Hoofs will attack. Oh, that's gross.
Yes.
Avenger of Zendikar having Myriad coming in 3 times is pretty silly. Yeah, there's the creatures you control have Myriad is going to be really strong. I'm glad that it's costed so high because it has to be.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't put this at a 6 slot.
No.
The next one we have is Majestic Genesis. 6 double green, which is easy to hit for most decks that have green. Reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the greatest mana value of a commander you own on the battlefield or in the command zone. You can put any number of permanents from among them onto the battlefield, put the rest in the bottom in any order. This, to me, is basically only for the Dragon. I can't really see another commander that's high enough, maybe like the Tarask or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really expensive to get, like, a lot of times my commander costs 4.
Yeah, like you're probably going to be seeing this for like Ramos or
something
Progenitus.
huge. Yeah, Progenitus would be great. Yeah. So, something that lets you get stuff off easy. Maybe, I don't know. It just seems not like something I would play based on its cost. It's too high mana for what my normal commanders are.
Yeah.
There's a new Minsk and Boo, by the way. Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes, 2, 1 green, 1 red. When it enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create Boo, a legendary 1/1 hamster with trample and haste. +1, put 3 1/1 counters on up to 1 target creature with trample or haste. -2, sacrifice a creature. When you do, Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes deals X damage to any target, where X is the creature's power. If the sack creature was a hamster, you draw X cards. And then they can be your commander. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
It's basically the fling hamster, and I enjoy that.
But is it going to food chain?
Everything will food chain. Food chain Boo.
Yeah.
The next one's really cool for party. Zach, you take this one because you convinced me of party.
Okay, I'm probably going to butcher the name, guys, so bear with me.
That's why I keep giving you guys these.
Nali D. Nali. 1 white, black, for a legendary creature, human rogue. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard spells from the top of your library. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain death touch until end of turn. Because she's a rogue. That makes sense.
Kind of cool, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, party's really a really cool mechanic. You just have to, do it.
That's what bummed me out so much, that they didn't make like Wolfgar and Katie Brunner. They didn't go out of their way to make them a party theme and try to get them in a deck together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the flavor? Yeah, I can go on for days about the old one, like I said, complaining. You also probably want this next one too, Zach.
Slothy, how do you say this?
Nautiloid.
Thank you. Nautiloid ship. 4 colors for a 5/5 vehicle as flying, and when Nautiloid ship enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. When Nautiloid ship deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card exiled with Nautiloid ship onto the battlefield under your control, and it accrues for 3. Yeah, this card is also sick.
That's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take these next 2 because number 1, I'm a degenerate, and number 2, I love them. These are some of my absolute favorite cards in the set. Number 1 is Pact Weapon, and for anyone who's listened to the Baldurs episode, you'll understand why. It's 3 and a black for an equipment. As long as it's attached to a creature, you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. And yeah, Baldurs is all about the low life total. And also, whenever a equipped creature attacks, you draw a card and reveal it. The creature gets XX till end of turn, and you lose X life, where X is that card's mana value. That's not what it's for. Oh, and the equip is discard a card, sorry. To me, that's not what it would be for the giant attacks. It would be for the not losing the game. But with the ninjutsu commander, whatever it is, this could really, really hit people very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, it's the unblockable, and they're trying to hit things for 14 off the top of the deck. Ugh. That's the one that I'm worried about. The next one I really, really like because I love Storm. It's Storm King's Thunder, aptly named. It's X and triple red for an instant. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it X times. You can choose new targets for the copy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty silly, right?
Yeah, and that art's insane.
Yeah, look, it's a beautiful card. This, yeah, I really, really like this card. There's a lot of decks I like in it, and I also really like the flavor text of "I alone am worthy to decide where lightning strikes." Oh man, that's a great card.
Yeah, that is very cool.
I do like that they stapled on its when you cast, so that I can't like copy people's, like someone tries to Torment of Hailfire me, I'm like, I'll copy it 18 times.
Yeah.
I have to do it with my own things.
So if we're getting cards that are named after books, can we get the Rise of Tiamat saga?
That'd be cool.
Right. I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's cool that they did that.
Yeah.
I think this is the one you like, right, Slothy?
Sure is. So this next one is Tasha the Witch Queen. 3 blue-black for a legendary planeswalker Tasha with starting ability of 4. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, create a 3/3 black demon creature token. +1, draw a card for each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's library with a page counter on it. And put a page counter on it. And you can -3, and you may cast a spell from among cards in exile with page counters on them without paying its mana cost, and it can be your command.
Yeah,
cards like this are what I wish the first D&D set were.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was talking to Dan that I'm gonna build Send triplets kind of with this as a secondary commander in the 99 because it works so well with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that a lot. The next one's also really, really weird. It's I can't even see that card. It's Volo. That's what I'm calling it. 2 and a blue, human wizard, 2/3. When Volo enters the battlefield, create Volo's Journal, a legendary colorless artifact token with hexproof, and whenever you cast a creature spell, note one of its creature types that hasn't been noted for this artifact. 2 and a tap, draw a card for each creature type noted for target permanent you control named Volo's Journal. So
and choose a background.
Yeah, and choose a background, which is pretty cool. And then also, this is something Benson's just going to partner with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I already know he is. His background is the Pied Piper or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about this one compared to the other Volo?
Both Volos are all right. They're both not my speed, but they're both cool.
I like the other Volo better because I like making copies of things.
Yeah.
I'm taking this next one.
Oh, we didn't even say Faces 1. Faces 1's 5. It can just be your commander. It's a common, and I don't know why it's in the mythic and rare slots.
I don't know. Probably because it's important.
Yeah. Anyways, 5 mana. If it's your commander, you can choose a color before the game. It's the chosen color and has choose a background. All right. Please take it away.
We have Onaldo the Seer, 2 green and blue. For a legendary creature human shaman 3/5, you tap, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand and put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value. It gains. When the last time counter is removed from this card, if it's exiled, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn. Then remove the time counter from each other card you own in exile.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this one's going to be like a lot of, crap, did I do that? Wait, did I do that yet?
Yeah. I think
but
that
it's a
one will
very
be really
unique
fun.
card. Yeah, because typically, like, time counters like that, we see that more in blue and red.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
well, that kind of feel.
Yeah, I feel like you have to take the next one too, Zach. It's very you.
Alrighty. We have Altar of Baal. It's 1 and a black for an artifact, and it has it has an adventure side and a normal side. So the adventure side is Bone Offering for 2 and a black sorcery. Create a tapped 4/1 black skeleton creature token with menace. And then its other side is 2 and a black tap, exile a creature you control, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, yes.
Really good.
Very good.
I dislike the next card because I don't like that they are spam trying to make white really good. White is very good on its own. You don't need to keep giving it that. Don't break the color pie because white has a lot of very annoying things. This is Archivist of Ogma, and I, again, don't understand why they're printing stuff like this. 1 and a white for a 2/2 halfling cleric with flash. Whenever an opponent searches their library, you gain a life and draw a card.
That's pretty good.
That's
I dig it.
Really good.
I want to put that in Carador.
Well, it's phenomenal for any competitive deck playing white because your fetches are you searching your land, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like in a lot of those games, like I fetch like my first 3 turns, I'm running fetch lands or a tutor. you gaining life and drawing a card. It just does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, I just think it's a really powerful card. 2 mana at flash, 2/2 body. Silly.
It's a halfling too.
It is a halfling. Half the body, all the effect. Yeah, it's silly. Ascent from Avernus is also another interesting card. X triple white. Return all creatures and planeswalkers with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile it. Also pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's very good.
Creatures and planeswalkers is interesting.
I don't know nothing about Avernus, but apparently they like planeswalkers there.
There's I'm gonna take the next two as well. Sorry. Astarion's Thirst, 3 and a black for an instant. Exile target creature, which is a great effect in black. Put X +1/+1 counters on a commander you control, where X is the power of the creature exiled this way. That's just a really good instant removal spell. Its cost is a little high, but for what it does is awesome. The next one I really, really like, though, it's Astarion the Decadent. 4, 1 white, 1 black for a 4/4 vampire elf rogue. Those are all great tribes. It's a Death Touch lifelink, and at the beginning of your end step, you choose one. Feed, which is target opponent loses life equal to the amount of life they lost this turn, which is great. Or Friends, you gain life equal to the amount of life you gain this turn.
That's dope.
Yeah, first off, you can just peer into the abyss and kill people. That's killer.
Mm-hmm.
But second off, like, I love this, like, it's insane power built into life gain. Like, just the fact that you can double up your life gain at your end step is awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Very, very good. Someone take this next one.
For sure. So this next one is Baba Saga, Night Witch. 1, a black and a green for a 3/3 legendary creature, human warlock. You can tap it to sacrifice up to 3 permanents. If there were 3 or more card types among the sacrifice permanents, each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life, and then you draw 3 cards.
This is insane.
Oh, you like that one, Zach?
Yeah.
This is going in Carador. I'm gonna get to draw so many cards now.
If there are 3 or more card types among the sacrifice permanents.
Oh wait, no, card types. Never
Yeah,
mind.
card types. Not quite Carador, but is a token a card type?
Well, if it's like a treasure, it's an artifact.
So you'd want to do an artifact, a creature, like a land or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd make that one work.
Then tokens.
Yeah. The next one I'm also really excited for. Actually, yeah, with Gave. That's pretty cool. It's Baldur's Gate, legendary land gate. Tap for a colorless, or 2 and a tap, add X mana of any color where X is the number of other gates you control. This is a phenomenal card. I build Maze's End into every 5 color thing that I can think of.
Yeah.
And being able to tap 2 to turn it into 10 is awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If only Golos was still alive.
That's why
he is in our heart.
Yeah, I just played anyways.
Exactly.
They made a new God cycle, which I thought was interesting too. Zach, you want to take the God one, the first one?
Yep. We have Bane, Lord of Darkness. 1 white, blue, black for a legendary creature God 5/2. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, Bane, Lord of Darkness has Indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, target opponent may have you draw a card. If they don't, you may put a creature card with equal or lesser toughness from your hand onto the battlefield.
That's pretty cool.
That is very dope.
That's pretty cool. I like that one a lot. I like the next one too. It's silly.
Yeah. So this next one is already going in Zangief. Barroom Brawl. 1 and a green for sorcery. Target creature you control fights target creature an opponent or the opponent to your left controls. Then that player may copy the spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy.
I like that. Yeah, just fight everything.
Yeah.
They got. I'll rip through 2. That's a really cool card. I'll rip through 2 reprints really quickly. We got Basilisk Collar as a reprint, which I like. I like a quick creature has lifelink, Death Touch for 1 mana, and it's 2 to equip. And then Blade of Selves reprint, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
2 mana, equip creature has Myriad, and it's equipped for 4.
Yeah. I like that they're bringing back the Myriad mechanic for this set.
Myriad and treasures. That's all that's in this set. Yep.
Hey, way to my heart right there.
Oh, and Goad. I can't forget Goad. Yeah, everything has Goad. We've got Baal, Lord of Murder. 2, 1 black, 1 red, 1 green for a 4/4 god. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your start floating total, half of your starting life total has Indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 counter on target creature and goad it. Goad it. Everything has Goad.
I love the D&D art for this one.
Yeah, this is very cool.
Yeah,
It's my favorite part about this card.
that's fair. They're giving us the Battle Bond lands again, the Battlefield Promenade. As long as it enters, if you have 2 or more opponents, it's untapped and 1 green and 1 white, which is pretty cool. The next one's also a fun card too. I'm just ripping through some of these because there's so many that I want to get to. Call of the Void, 4 and a black for sorcery. Each player secretly chooses a creature they control and a creature they don't control. Then those choices are revealed. Destroy each creature chosen this way.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty
I
cool.
like cards that are like that, where we have to be like, oh crap, do you have a piece of paper? No, I'll just write it on my phone.
Oh, the next one as well. There's another mechanic in this. It's take the initiative. They're bringing back a dungeon-like mechanic again, and this time it's venture into the Underdark. It's got a few. Let me pull it up. What it is? Slothy, you want to read this card while I look it up?
Sure. So, Caves of Chaos Adventurer, 3 in a red for a 5/3 human barbarian with trample. When Caves of Chaos Adventurer enters battlefield, you take the initiative. Whenever Caves of Chaos Adventurer attacks, exile the top card of your library. If you've completed a dungeon, you may play that card this turn without paying its mana cost. Otherwise, you may play that card this turn.
Yeah, so the breakdown of it is the initiative is a player designation similar to Monarch introduced in Commander Legends, and the only way to enter the Undercity dungeon. Only 1 player at a time can have the initiative. The initiative has the following ability. Whenever you take it, and at the beginning of your upkeep, venture into the Undercity. In addition to several cards printed in Commander Legends, they get better if they have ability for, if you have completed the dungeon kind of thing. And what is the dungeon? Where is I'll read what the Undercity dungeon is. You can't enter this unless you venture into the Undercity. You can't enter this dungeon unless... That's weird. It's the Undercity, and it says you can't venture this unless you venture into the Undercity. I don't know what that is. But anyways, secret entrance. Search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, which is great. Then it has Lost Well, which is scry 2, or Forge, which is put 2/1/1 counters on it. Then it's a trap. Target player loses 5 life. Arena, goad target creature, / create a treasure token. I wasn't wrong. Then Archives, draw a card. Catacombs, create a 4/1 black skeleton token with menace. And then you finally get to Throne of the Dead 3. Reveal the top 10 cards of your library. Put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield with 3/1 counters on it. It gains hexproof until end of turn, then shuffle. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I will say I really like that they're, through this one and the other D&D set, that they're bringing keywords from D&D and putting them into Magic.
Yeah.
Feels awesome.
True. This next one is one of the backgrounds I was talking about, the first one we see in the list. It's Cultist of the Absolute. It's 1 black mana, and it's a legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own get +3/+3, have flying, death touch, ward, pay 3 life, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature.
That's insane for just black.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really strong backgrounds, I think.
That's insane.
Could I take this next one? Because I've already made a note about the titles.
Sure.
So this next one is Descent into Avernus. 2 in a red for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 descent counters on Descent into Avernus. Then each player creates X treasure tokens, and Descent into Avernus deals X damage to each player, where X is the number of descent counters on Descent into Avernus.
I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give everyone insane ramp, a clock on the game, and then also, if you're playing life game, hopefully you can outpace them.
Yeah.
Or play straight burn and just try to kill everyone first. Yeah. The next one's a really cool card. I like it because I like to flicker everything I can. It's Displacer Kitten, 3 and a blue for a cat beast 2/2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. This is really, really good protection if you have anything that blinks. Even if you're able to play a brainstorm, you can save your commander with a brainstorm.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Not from a board wipe, but you guys get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read this next one because I want you to take the next one, Zach, because I don't know if you've seen it. We've got Duke Ulder Ravengard, 4/1 red, 1 white for a 5/5. Human Noble Soldier. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and myriad, which is, I think, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one I feel like you would enjoy, Zach. So.
The Jeskai one?
Yeah. You don't like Jeskai normally, but the things that you can do with it, I think you'll like.
All right. I'm probably going to butcher the name. Denir Invoker Adept. 1 blue, red, white for a legendary creature, human wizard 4/4. It has haste. You may activate abilities of other creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. And tap, when you next activate an ability this turn by spending 4 or more mana to activate a copy of the ability, you may choose new targets for the copy. Yeah, that ain't too bad.
I think it's pretty cool. I think there's going to be some cool combinations, but I think a lot of people are going to... I think that a bunch of people are going to try and animate artifacts into creatures to copy their abilities, like a Staff of Domination, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of crazy stuff, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of, Planar Bridge, right? If you turn Planar Bridge into, like a creature, which is easy in blue to animate things, you copy your next Planar Bridge activation.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. I like it. This next one's really, really big. It's 15 mana, 14 and a green for a 10/10 elemental dragon, and it costs X less, where X is the total value of dragons you control. It has flying and trample. Pay 2 and a green, sack a land, return it from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a big green dum-dum.
You get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Next we have... Oh, did you want to take this one, Slothy?
I don't know, go for it.
Oh, we have Elder Brain, 5 double black for a 6/6 horror with menace. Whenever Elder Brain attacks a player, exile all cards from that player's hand. Then they may draw that many cards. You may play lands and cast spells from among the exiled cards, or as long as they remain exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as or mana of any color to cast it. Sorry, that was like a whole paragraph.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna unofficial commander that card.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Elder Brains and Rocks. I'm going to make that as a commander. I just don't care. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I really like that. The next card is how you kill Zach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eldritch Pact, 6 and a black. Target player draws X cards, loses X life, where X is the number of cards in their graveyard. That's definitely how you kill Zach. The next one's rough. Elturel Survivors. 3 and a red for a 0/4 trample myriad. As long as it's attacking, it gets XO, where X is the number of lands defending player controls. Anything with extra combat will make, if you can't kill it in the first combat, you're going to die.
Yeah.
I landfall in a lot of decks. I landfall in a lot of decks. That would hurt.
So the next one is Furbolg Flutist, 4 double red for a 4/4 giant bard. It's got enthralling performance. When Furbolg Flutist enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature you don't control until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste and myriad until end of turn.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I really like the art.
That'd be a fun card to flicker, yeah. What is this? Fraying Line? 4 mana for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, put a rope counter on target creature you control. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, they may pay 2. If they do, they put a rope counter on the creature you control. Otherwise, you exile Fraying Line and each creature without a rope counter on it. Then remove all rope counters from all creatures. That's pretty cool. So everyone can pay 2 at their upkeep and put a counter on it. If no one pays, it exiles all other creatures.
Neat.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Really good politics way to get rid of the board, and you can, when it enters the battlefield, you put it on target creature you control. So you can at a minimum save yours, or you can group hug the table and try bargain with people. I like political cards like that.
Next we have Gale's Redirection, 3 double blue for an instant. Exile target spell, then roll a d20, then add that spell's mana value. 1 to 14, you may cast the exiled card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. 15 plus, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled.
Nice.
You're almost halfway there to Psych Rifting the table for free.
Ew.
Yeah.
I like that. And then you've got Gale Waterdeep Prodigy, 2 and a blue for Human Wizard 1/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery from your hand, you can cast up to 1 target card of the other type from your grid. I'm building this for sure. So let me start again. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast up to 1 target card of the other type from your graveyard. If a spell cast from your graveyard, this would be put into your graveyard, exile instead. Choose a background. That's awesome.
Nice.
So you can just go back and forth, and like whenever you instant, you get a sorcery, and because of how it's worded, you'd get around timing restrictions. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
I'd like to take the next 2 if that's all right.
Hit it.
So the next one is Glunch the Bestower. 1 a green and a white for a 0/5 legendary creature jellyfish. With flying, at the beginning of your end step, choose a player. They put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature they control. Choose a second player to draw a card, and then choose a third player to create 2 treasure tokens. I don't know why, but I love this card.
I think it's really cool. You can be one of the players you choose.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You said you're taking this next one, but there's a card I want after that.
And the next one is a Gorian Wise Mentor. Cost banned, so green, a white, and a blue for a 3/4 legendary creature human wizard with vigilance. And whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy.
What a strange mechanic to bring back here.
That's very weird.
There is a lot of adventure. Like the next one is really good. The next one's super good. I wish it was an instant, but it's Horn of Valhalla. I can't talk today. 1 and a white for an equipment. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each creature you control and equip 3. That's just a good equipment in general. But it also has sorcery, and it's, I think, can't read it, it's too small, but Yizgard's Call or something, who knows. X double white for a sorcery adventure, create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens.
Nice.
I like that. Something to dump your mana into, and then something to buff your commander with it as well.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Zach, do you want the Ithalid Harvester?
Yeah, sure. We have Ithalid Harvester for 4 and a blue for a 4/4 creature horror. Its adventure side is plant tadpoles. X double blue for sorcery. Tap X target creatures they don't untap during their controller's next untap steps. And then I don't know how to say this word. Ceramorphos?
Yeah, Ceramorphosis, I don't know.
Ceramorphosis? Okay, thanks. When Illithid Harvester enters the battlefield, turn any number of target tap non-token creatures face down. They're 2/2 horror creatures. Oh, that's really cool. I like that.
I like that a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Slothy, you want this one?
Yeah, so this next one is Intellect Devourer, 3 and a black for a 2/4 horror with Devour Intellect. When Intellect Devourer enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand until Intellect Devourer leaves the battlefield. And then it's got Body Thief. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled with Intellect Devourer. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana or mana of any color to cast it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Zach had to jump out there, but we are going to continue on here. We'll get through the rest of these. We're nearly done them. We've got Jaheira, Friend of the Forest, 2 and a green for a legendary creature, human elf druid. 2/3 tokens you control have tap to add 1 mana. Now that's specifically interesting because it does not say creature tokens. So like your treasures won't have to be sacrificed. You can turn food tokens into like mana outlets. I think it's really, really cool. It also has a choose a background.
Yeah. I like the flavor text on that too. The Harper's movement grows, but it needs sunlight to blossom. We can be that light.
I really like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we've got Jaheira's Respite, 4 and a green for an instant. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Put those cards on the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. And prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn.
I like that one. I was arguing with someone about how good this card is. They're like, oh, you shouldn't have to hold up 5 mana for ramp. So good. I like this card a lot.
Yeah, this card is insane.
I play a lot of token decks. People will really, really go hard on this.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Jan Jansen, Chaos Crafter, 1 red, 1 white, 1 black. For a Gnome Artificer, legendary creature. It's a 3/3. It has haste. You can tap it, sack an artifact creature, create 2 treasure tokens, or tap it, sack a non-creature artifact, create 2 1/1 colorless creature tokens. So you can like basically like turn your treasures into 2 creatures or your creatures into 2 treasures.
It's not bad at all.
I really like it. Yeah. Do you want this one?
Yeah, I'm just rereading that.
What, the Jan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool, right?
Yeah, if you've got an untap.
Yes, an untap or a copy, like a Rings of Bright Hearth kind of thing or something.
Yeah.
You'd have to figure it out for sure, but if with an untap mechanic thing, yes, it would go off. I'm
gonna work on that.
Yeah, there's John Orenkis, Shattered One, 2 1 blue 1 black for a 3/3 legendary elf wizard. Beginning of your end step, target opponent gains control of up to 1 target creature you control. put 2/1/1 counters on it and tap it. It's goaded for the rest of the game and gains it can't be sacrificed. Then whenever a creature you own but don't control attacks, you draw a card.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Kindred Discovery reprint with an amazing artwork. I love it.
Yep, that's beautiful.
A family that welcomes birds of all feathers. That's really, really cool artwork. I just like generally the bird artwork that they do in most Magic things.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 double blue. As it enters, choose a creature type. Whenever a creature you control the chosen type enters or attacks, draw a card. It's an amazing reprint.
Yeah, absolutely.
This next one as well is super cool. I don't know if you've seen this one.
I have, I think. But it's Lae'zel's Acrobatics, 3 and white for an instant. Exile all non-token creatures you control, then roll a d20. 1-9, return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Or 10-20, return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control, then exile them again. Return those creatures or those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step.
Double ETB at 4 for your cards is bonkers.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, I really, really like it.
And then, of course, you've got Lae'zel, Vlaakith's Champion, 2 and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature, Gift Warrior. If you would put one or more counters on a creature or planeswalker you control or on yourself, put that many +1 of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead and choose a background.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
We have Luxury Suite, the Rakdos one of the Battlebond lands. Then we have Mazi True Sword Paladin. 1 and 1 red, green, and white for a legendary Halfling Knight. 3/4. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents, it gets 2/0 and gains trample until end of turn, which is awesome for a Voltron-esque commander. And then it's whenever an aura you control is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, exile it until the end of your next turn. You may cast that card. So a really easy way to get those cards back. I think this is a really cool Voltron-esque commander.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll burn through these next two because I want to talk about one of them. So first, it's Mighty Servant of Leuco. I don't know. I'm not good at reading. 3 for a 6/6 vehicle with trample, ward, discard a card. Whenever your Mighty Servant of Leuco becomes crewed for the first time each turn, if it was crewed by exactly 2 creatures, it gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards until end of turn. Not bad. The next one, super good, and I think is going to be one of the chase cards of the set. I think it's amazing. It's Mirim, Sentinel Worm. 3, 1 green, 1 blue, 1 red. You have a 6/6 legendary creature dragon spirit. Flying with ward 2, amazing mechanics at 6 mana. Like, just the stats on it are awesome. And whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. This is amazing.
Wow.
This is amazing.
That's insane.
You're already in green, so you can already run your Parallel Lives, your Second Harvests, your Doubling Seasons, your Primal Figures, which is already awesome. And then I'm pretty sure Primal. Let me make sure I'm thinking Primal Vigor is right. Is Vigor only counters?
Primal Vigor is tokens.
It
tokens
is tokens
or
too.
+1/+1 counters.
Okay, yeah, so I'm not crazy. Yeah, so again, you're already in that. You're in red, which is filled with dragons. There's pretty cool blue dragons in general, like now and then. But you have the blue to support the card draw to get to your dragons, the green to ramp your dragons out, like just raw, and then you have the red for the actual just dragon color. Like, this is a really, really good card. Good card.
It's awesome.
Yeah, like this. I think it's going to be, I think it'll be similar to Zaxara, where it just does too much every game.
Yeah.
Like just the fact that you can get like 2 Lathlis out, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Double Bogard and Hellkites when you like put like any of those things. Like the dragons are a popular and powerful tribe for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like this next one too. It's neat.
Yeah.
Mirror of Life trapping, 4 mana. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it was cast, exile it. Then return all other permanent cards exiled with Mirror of Life trapping to the battlefield under their owner's control. I think that's annoying.
Yeah. Yep.
And I like annoying.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Next up, we've got Monster Manual, 3 and a green for an artifact. It's got an adventure. It's a sorcery called Zoological Study, 2 and a green. Mill 5 cards, then return a creature card milled this way to your hand. And the artifact side has 1 and a green and tap it. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield.
That's a really good card.
It's a really good card.
It's a really, really good card, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that.
We have Morphic Pool, just the Dimir of the Battle Bond lands. This next card's super, super cool. I'm going to build this one for sure. It's Merkul, Lord of Bones. 4, 1 white, 1 black, 1 green, which is Zach's favorite colors. It's a legendary creature god. It's a 7/5. As long as your life total's less than or equal to half, it's indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an enchantment and loses all other card types. So again, you're in the colors of your token doublers. For both of them, you can even anoint a procession in this. But this means you can get like a devoted druid as a enchantment, like as an enchantment, and -1/-1 counters on an enchantment don't matter. You can get a Seedborn Muse enchantment where you're untapping, and people don't really play enchantment removal. I think this is going to be a really, really exciting, fun card. And then you're in the, if you have the higher budget, obviously, you're in like the colors of like Sarah Sanctum, where you tap for how many enchantments you control.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this card. I think it's going to be really, really fun to build around and make like annoying enchantments that are like, there's a reason enchantments are hard to remove, right? They don't generally do as much, but yeah, there's some cool stuff you can do with these.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can just abuse that.
Yeah, I'll rip through the next two as well quickly, and then I'll let you. You take the next one if you want it.
Sure. The next one is Nero, Wild Mage, 4 blue and a red for a 2/7 legendary creature, human, elf, shaman. Whenever you cast a spell, you may put it on the bottom of its owner's library. If you do, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, and this ability triggers only once per turn, or once each turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then I think it's pretty cool. There's some fun ways to go infinite with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like the artwork on it too.
Yeah.
We also have 9 Fingers Keen. Also, a 2/7's really big.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah. 9 Fingers Keen, 1 black, 1 green, 1 blue. It's a human rogue 4/4 with menace and ward pay 9 life, which is no one's going to try to remove this at that. That's costly. Whenever 9 Fingers Keen deals combat damage to a player, you can look at the top 9 cards of your library. You can put a gate from among them onto the battlefield. Then if you control 9 or more gates, put the rest into your hand. Otherwise, put the rest in the bottom in a random order. I don't know how much people are clamoring for Slothy gates, but
no, I feel like gates is one of it's a five color strategy.
Well, they did put so they made many new gates in this set, so you can do it in no longer 5 now in Maze's End. So Maze's End, I expect, will go up in price because it's actually playable in lower color decks now.
Okay.
So we'll get to some of the gates after. Noble Heritage is another one of the backgrounds. It's 1 and a white. Legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have, when this creature enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2/1/1 counters on a creature they control. For each opponent who does, you gain protection from them until the end of the next turn. Until your next turn, sorry. Really cool in my Kenrith skip my turns deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to take the next note too. I really like it.
Absolutely.
It's 2 and a green for a 3/3. It's Owl Bear Cub. It's a bird bear. It's awesome. Then it has Mama's Coming. Whenever Owlbear Cub attacks a player who controls 8 or more lands, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You can put a creature from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that player, and the rest on the bottom in a random order. This is awesome. I have a Prismatic Bridge deck, and it's all about like getting really, really big, silly things like Jin-Jitaxis and stuff like that out.
Yeah.
So like just having a card that does like a similar thing that's just like, oh, Mama's coming, and I'm flipping over Ulamogs and stuff is really, really fun.
Yeah.
Let's do 2 or 3 more, and then we'll stop here because we're not even close to finishing, and I don't want to do a 2-hour episode for everyone today. Sorry, guys.
Fair enough.
I want everyone to be able to get through it, so we'll finish it next week up with Zach there.
Yeah. There's 3 of the next 4 that I would like to take.
Yeah, you take them, and we'll finish when we're done.
Okay. Well, the next one is not one of those 3. but it's popular entertainer, 1 and a red for legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, goad target creature that player controls. Okay.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But this next one, Raga Draga Gorgut's Boss.
First off, that's so fun to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more time, please.
Raga Draga Gorgut's Boss.
That sounds like me describing like how like heavy metal riffs that I'm playing. So anyways, I'm like Raga Draga Raga Draga.
Absolutely. But it's 2 red and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature, Human Boar. With each creature you control with a mana ability gets +2/+2. Whenever a creature you control with a mana ability attacks, untap it. And whenever you cast a spell, if at least 7 mana was spent to cast it, untap that creature, it gets a +7/+7 and gains trample until end of turn.
Okay,
or
that's
target creature,
silly.
sorry. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I would run this as just like a straight elf deck with fireballs, like Comet Storms, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because, yeah, then I can just untap my Priest of Titania, like whenever I cast a spell, untap my Priest of Titania, like let's say she taps for 10. I untap it, I'm fireballing for 10 or something. Priest of Titania now gets +9/+9.
Yeah.
I absolutely clobber someone with it, and it untaps because I attack.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What is this?
Raised by Giants. 5 and a green for a legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have base power and toughness 10/10 and are giants in addition to their other types.
This is really, really good in... What is the card name? Let me just double check here. Yeah, it's Sisay Weatherlight Captain. If you can get this out in Sisay, that's nuts, because you search for a card, a legendary permanent with CMC equal or less than her power, put on the battlefield. So if her base power is 10/10 and she gets 1/1 for each other legendary, you've got like Sisay able to be a 15/15, and you can fetch out things that you've never been able to fetch out with Sisay.
Yep.
That's really, really exciting. I think I might make a background Sisay deck.
Yeah.
Because like there's so many cool like commander creatures you control get blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed the background type.
Yeah.
So far.
And then you want to do this one, I assume?
Yeah, this is the last one.
All right.
But this is probably the card that I'm most excited for in this set so far. It's a Raphael Fiendish Savior, 3 black and red for a legendary creature, Devil Noble, 4/4 with flying. Other demons, devils, imps, and tieflings you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. And at the beginning of each end step, if a creature card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target.
That's pretty cool. Token generation. Gives them a buff. It gives you life gain. It's a flyer. I like that.
Yeah, it kind of does everything that I'm looking for in a tribal commander.
Really, really cool artwork on them.
Yeah.
I feel like I said, I feel like we can end there. We'll finish it up next week with Zach and everything. Like there's a lot, and I don't, like I said, it's when we do 2-hour episodes, I find it's kind of too much to take in, right? So we talked a lot about these ones. We'll finish off the rares and then go through some of the uncommons, because there is really cool uncommons in this set, and it is a shame to just skip over a bunch of them, especially like with the gates that they're printing. Like, how do you not talk about them? And there's a lot of legendary background enchantments and a lot of what's the other word I'm thinking? A lot of legendary backgrounds and a lot of like really, really cool legendary uncommon commanders, and I love them.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk with them. We'll talk about that with them next week. Thanks everyone for listening so much. If you want more of our content, you can just go to www.intothe99.com. Again, thanks everyone who was patient with us for not recording last week. Life gets the best of us sometimes, but we're so happy for everyone who comes and listens every week. Let us know how you think of these first spoilers. Are you going to buy a lot of this set? Are you waiting? Are you fatigued out from this product? And just let us know how you think. If you get a chance, rate us on Apple Music or Spotify. Good or bad, it still does help. Helps us get found. Obviously, good is better. Just saying. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate everyone who spends the time with us every week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye for now.
Yeah.